A nyní prosím pana France Josefa Flossbacha, zástupce německé DEG, o jeho prezentaci.
I structured my presentation in 4 chapters. One is the DEG, organization and structure. Second, scope of business and financing. Third, financing criteria and development effects. And if I have time, I give a few examples of investments in the neighborhood. Some corporate data. The DEG was founded in 1962. The aim was to create a body to assist German entrepreneurs to invest in developing countries. Nowadays we have 430, 450 employees. We have a head office from the very beginning in Cologne. Up to 2001, the only shareholder was the German government directly. Since 2001, the German public is indirectly the shareholder. We belong to the KfW banking group, which belongs 80% to the Federal Republic and 20% to the federal states. Our equity base is 1.5 billion euro. Our balance sheet roughly 4 billion euro. Our new commitments per year are in the range of 1.2 billion and a bit in excess in the forthcoming years. We have some special legal aspects. We belong to the so-called German Kreditwesengesetz. Partly we are exempted. As one of the very few development finance institutions, we have to pay tax on a part of our business. We fulfill the criteria of Bail II. We report in 2 ways, IFRS and the German HGB. Our supervisory board is composed of 11 persons. 4 ministries are present. The Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, they have the chair, even if they are not any longer a shareholder. The Ministry of Economy, Foreign Affairs and Finance, the KfW banking group as our shareholder has 2 seats in the board of directors and always the deputy chair. The others are from the public, broad spread. Entrepreneurs, banks, etc. And one special point, the DEG is 1% shareholder of the Proparco. It's a French EDFI member. We are on their board. They have no chair within the DEG, but they are on our board. The organization reflects that we are active in 4 continents: Latin America, Central America #1, Africa, Asia, and Europe, Central Asia, Caucasus, Turkey, Near East. Europe, all the EU member states for new business are excluded. What does reflect the KfW Bankengruppe? The KfW Bankengruppe is mainly active, about 70 to 80% in Germany as a promotional bank. And in the international business, they carry out their businesses with 3 brand names. It's the IPEX Bank. They carry out mainly export-driven German financings, mainly under ECA cover in Germany, Euler Hermes. The second is a development bank. They carry out on behalf of the German government the bilateral financial aid, always with government agreements. And the third member of this international group is the DEG, carrying out their business on their own risk, always on a purely private basis. We belong to the EDFI member circle. I am proud I was amongst 7 persons who initiated this in 91-92. Besides the close cooperation with this additional 14 EDFI members, we closely cooperate with the EIB, the IFC, the World Bank subsidiary, the EBRD in Eastern Europe, now around the Mediterranean area as well, the Black Sea Trade and Development Bank, and the 3 other regional development banks, Asian, Africa, and Latin American, because they all established in the last years an arm for private businesses. We have 1 head office in Cologne. Besides this head offices, we have 12 representative offices abroad. Here are the names. This reflects our main target countries or regions. In addition, the KfW Development Bank has roughly 16 representative offices, which we use in addition for information. So far, DEG's structure. Scope of business and financing. This shows the growth of our new commitments during the last 8 years. This year we will reach 1.1, 1.3 billion new commitments as well. From the very beginning, our goal was to promote the private sector in our partner countries. Up to 88, we accompanied only German entrepreneurs. Since 88, 89, we are open to invest in each private corporate, independently from where the owners are coming. And our goals are always oriented on development impact. And our partner is always and only the private sector. The instruments we offer are equity participations, mezzanine financing, long-term loans and guarantees. All our investments are on our own balance sheet. We don't ask for government or third-party guarantees. It's always a project financing on our own risk. The sectors we are aimed for are the financial sector, since a few years insurance industry, the manufacturing and service industry, agribusiness and private infrastructure. And this reflects a bit later, I will mention this, our expertise in the due diligence processes. Roughly 40% of our total investments and our new commitments are in the range of equity participations and mezzanine. That means it's more riskier. And roughly 40% is in the financial sector. Why? We use financial intermediaries to reach one of our target clientele in our partner countries, a medium-sized industry which we can't reach from Cologne due to the high transaction costs. One point. Another point, we have many equity participations. The reason is our goal is to give the banks the possibility to grow and to bring in corporate governance. All the solutions are, or all our financings are suited to the individual projects and the risks. The risks are the country risk and the project risk itself. We have a very sophisticated system rating all the countries where we are active in the whole group. suited to the individual project, and all the conditions are market-oriented. This is a very important point. The next slide shows the risk inherence of the different products, from loan, a guaranteed from the local partner guaranteed loan, up to high-risk participation. The amounts of the DEG we provide on our own, between 5 million euro if we have non-German entrepreneur, up to 40 million euro per deal, and we can arrange with EDFI institutions or with other banks more, up to 150 million. German entrepreneurs, we start with 1 million up to 5 million with some special arrangements. That means if we take the figures of 1.3 billion euro in mind, as new commitments, the average of our deal size is in the range of 10, 11 million euro. Our services, we guide the entrepreneurs in their sphere of strategic planning. We structure long-term finance. Long-term for us means between 4 and 15 years. In private infrastructure, it's up to 15. The average of our terms are 7 to 8 years, both in the field of loans as well as in the field of equity participation. From the project idea to the completion of a project, we have in the markets, we call it market, two areas. One are the so-called regions, and one are the sectors. The regions are responsible for the definition of our country strategy, to deal with the political environment and the business organizations in Germany and in our partner countries. In Germany, like the DHIK, like the Ostausschuss, etc., etc. For project origination, for pre-structuring of the project, for the customer relationship management, and for the portfolio management. After pre-structuring of a project, to get additional expertise, the colleagues from our structuring departments, we call them sectors. These are the sectors I mentioned: private infrastructure, agro-industry, manufacturing, financial institutions. They have a special experience and they carry out the due diligence process. They are responsible to get the decision internally, depending from the size from our supervisory board, to conclude the agreements and carry out the first disbursement. And then it's handed over again the project to the regions. Why this? The idea is to have a 4-eye procedure in the structuring of the project, at least 4 eyes, and in addition to have expertise from the different sectors. Financing criteria and development effects. What are the main financing criteria? These are integrity of our partners. There were a few countries mentioned today where we are very careful in checking the integrity. It's a corporate governance of the corporates we co-finance, transparency, who are the beneficiary shareholders, etc., what's behind this, qualified management team, a transparent accounting system, IFRS, IRS, or in some special cases, we accept local accounting standards as well, and appropriate environmental and social standards. The second block of this financing criteria is a business plan, market analysis, financial budget, including the financial structure, debt equity, a balance sheet forecast, a profit and loss forecast, and a cash flow forecast. I said all what we are financing is project financing, and the projected cash flow is the most important security that the corporate can refinance their activities and pay back the debts or earn something on their involved capital. As I said, we are one of the institutions in the German scenery for development assistance. So all what we carry out has the so-called corporate policy project rating. This has at least 4 benchmarks. It's a long-term profitability of the company we co-finance. At this stage, I may say, we as DEG on our own balance sheet are from our shareholders asked to earn money as well. We have an average target of 6% on the invested capital, which is 1.5 billion euro. That means 100 million plus minus in the average per year. We pay tax, we don't pay any dividends. It's all what we earn going to the reserves. Long-term profitability. Second, development effects, sustainability. The third one is the strategic role of the DEG in the project we co-finance. And what I mentioned, DEG's return on equity itself, these are this 6% in a slight average. We measure all the development effects, and the main ones are the employment which we create with our finance, net foreign currency income, the public revenue, mainly taxes, training and qualification of the personnel, social benefits, corporate social responsibility, transfer of know-how and technology, market and structural effects. And this will be brought in some figures in development effects, sustainability, strategic role of the DEG. A few figures, the developmental effects for our new business in 2010. The DEG contribution was expected government revenue of roughly €500 million in our projects we co-financed in their partner countries. Expected net foreign currency inflow out of their exports of the co-financed corporates, 2.7 billion euro. The employment effects creating or securing, we are financing greenfield projects as well as brownfield projects, as well as modernization ones. So securing is a very important issue. Roughly 150,000 direct jobs and additional 221,000 employees at suppliers, final borrowers in the financial sector. And 64%, roughly 2 of 3 projects, contribute at least to one of the 8 Millennium Development Goals. And in addition, and this is very important for us, the project companies we co-finance undertake to comply with internationally acknowledged environmental and social standards, mainly World Bank standards, but in many cases as well European standards. This is financing business. Besides this, we carry out on behalf of the German government, and this is the only issue where we got some public funds. A small amount in the whole context is a so-called program Public-Private Partnership. It's a technical assistance, a special technical assistance program where we co-finance mainly pilot projects for new technology in the environmental area with social issues, with new technology, or it's very important supply chain management. We carried out recently in preparing an additional one with the Metro Group agro-food processing products in a supply chain, which is very important for the consumer. I slipped the other issues here. Technical assistance. We provide finance on from our own resources to technical assistance, in addition to that from the BMZ. The idea is for special structuring effects, preparing sector studies, enhancing development in special areas. And we did a volume of roughly 2 billion from the BMZ last year. BMZ is the Ministry of Economic Cooperation, and 2 billion from our own resources in roughly 55 projects. Very interesting issue is as well, on behalf of the Bill Gates Foundation, we carry out on their behalf a big scheme called Cotton Made for Africa. It's to grow cotton in a better quality on a outgrower scheme in Africa in a few countries. Another issue for us where we pay high attention is climate protection. A part of our whole business is directly, indirectly through investments in the manufacturing industry mainly, climate protection and strategic issues, renewable energies, wind, water, geothermal, solar, energy efficiency. We are looking and have some special targets to invest in energy efficiency. For instance, a cement factory in the past working with a wet system to change it to a dry system. It's a very heavy investment, 50, 80, 100 million, but it saves a lot of CO2. Renewable raw materials and the carbon credits we are dealing with in the group. I forgot to mention the KfW Bankengruppe has a balance volume of roughly 500 billion euro and is with this in Germany the third largest bank with a AAA rating. In this climate protection and strategic issues 2009 we invested 160 million, 2010 220, and our target is in the forthcoming period of 3 to 4 years to have at least 1/3 of our investments invested in the area climate protection strategic issues. So far, the Czech Republic doesn't have a DFI. I invite entrepreneurs who are interested to invest in transition or developing countries to approach the DEG. A few words, what does we do in the region? We are active in all the transition countries which are not EU members, before we were in these countries, the 10 as well, with one exemption, that's Turkmenistan. Nevertheless, we look for investments as DEG in Turkmenistan, and I will be with the German delegation next week again there to see if there are opportunities. In all the other areas in Southeast Europe we are active, in Russia, Ukraine and Belarus, in the other, beside Turkmenistan, other 4 Central Asian countries, in the Caucasus, in the 3 countries, Turkey and Middle East. We are one of the first investors in the Iraq recently. Iran we can't. In theory, yes, but due to the political situation, not. Iraq we invest. Yemen we did invest, for the time being we don't. Jordan we invest. Lebanon, Syria, for the time being not. Palestinian territory, yes. The total commitment, to give you a brief figure in this area, is the total investment, portfolio investment is 1.4 billion. Therefore, supra-regional projects, about regional projects 100 million. We have 23 investment countries in this area and 120 corporates co-financed. We have an investment with one entrepreneur from the region here. It's a very huge one with Koda, where we co-financed in the Ukraine, Uzhgorod. The corporate is called Europcar, producing under the CKD model Skoda and other cars for the Ukrainian and Russian market. We have a very heavy investment which we co-financed with commercial banks from the region. So far, thank you very much for your attention. I'm ready to answer now or later on any questions you may raise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Flossbach. Tak tady jste viděli a slyšeli příklad úspěšně fungující rozvoje finanční instituce v Německu. Chtěla bych vám připomenout, že vlastně v těch materiálech jste dostali také CDčko a na něm je podrobně uvedena ta studie, o které jsem se dopoledne zmiňovala, a tam vlastně najdete přehled těchto institucí a také to, co pan Flossbach zmiňoval, že naprostá většina z nich neposkytuje takzvanou vázanou pomoc, to znamená pouze pro firmy ze svých zemí, ale je otevřená i ostatním firmám, takže jak vás pan Flossbach vybídl, můžete se obracet i na DEG.